Josh Ortiz is one of those kids everyone loves to coach. Now, Josh maybe didn't come to the Royals team that I coached in Little League with all the skills of some of the players that had the opportunity to go to paid travel team programs, but he came with a great attitude that you just can't learn from one of those programs. He was always showing up early to get the extra reps, chasing fly ball after fly ball. And as the season progressed, he was catching more and more of them and was really starting to deliver at the plate. Now, no, we do not have a baseball team at SCI, but the reason I bring this start with this story is our theme here today is cultivating connections. That's what we're about. So it was natural when we started a new program called Leaders for an Equitable Tomorrow that I would reach out to Josh, building on a past connection I had. I had noticed that Josh had really also started to become a budding young activist at the local high school. And so I reached out and invited him to participate, and he became one of our star youth leaders in that program very quickly. That program, by the way, I should mention, Leaders for an Equitable Tomorrow, or LET, is a program that ties in with some important timely events. In the context of the recent terrible shooting in Buffalo, driven by that racist, white supremacist ideas, I should note that this is a program that has teens focusing on the intersection of racism and mental health. It's been important for us at SCI to find ways to figure out how we can address racism in our programming, bringing people together around topics of anti-racism work and awareness across different cultures, because we've been reminded way too frequently about how much work there is to be done in the space. Our second theme at SCI is about developing, just a little more word about some of our Cultivating Connections work. Since that's really been at the cornerstone of what we've done since we were founded 20 years ago. One of the very first projects we did as an organization was pulling together the Woburn community for the first anniversary of September 11th and doing some community events to commemorate that. We had dialogue programs at the library, hands-on service projects, and we also coordinated an interfaith prayer service and vigil. That same town common where we had that vigil on September 11, 2002 is also a place that we've returned several other times for events, bringing the community together. One of those times was back in 2016 in response to yet another wave of anti-Black racist violence. We collaborated with the local church and the city to bring people together to stand up and speak out about that topic. Just last year, found us at the same place, pulling together an AAPI support vigil that drew together a lot of folks, including many young people who spoke on the program, which was great to see. Which is a good segue to our second area of focus is developing leaders, which has again been something we've been doing for nearly 20 years now. But we are always looking to find ways to bring fresh new ideas to our programming. So over the past year, we developed a new program called the Youth Grant Pitch Contest. Through that program, teams of teens get to come up with ideas for addressing mental health needs of their peers, and they get volunteer coaching from volunteers from the business community who help them shape their ideas in their presentation. 5 of those groups successfully then presented their ideas to a panel of volunteer judges and were awarded funding to carry out their projects, some very exciting and impactful projects. We also work to develop leaders at the adult level as well. And in fact, our relatively new vaccine equity program has a big focus on training grassroots community leaders to reach out to their peers and educate them about the vaccine. So in that program, we've had Vitaly educating folks at her Haitian church, and Karina working to educate parents at the Lynn Middle School where her daughter goes. So developing leaders is a second key area of SCI's work. Finally, third part of our theme and tagline is strengthening communities. To describe this part, I could talk about many different kinds of SCI events and programs, from our new allyship curriculum to a highly successful new Juneteenth event that was put together thanks to the leadership of our Deputy Director, Phil Gordon, and along with Jennifer Jones. But I want to go back to Josh to close things out. Last Saturday, after we had run a successful vaccine clinic in the morning, I headed out to a local Asian American Heritage Festival. After passing by a group of little kids in their brightly colored costumes getting ready to perform, the next person I saw was Josh, greeting folks coming into the event. I had almost forgotten that earlier in the year I had connected Josh with the leader of that event, and sure enough, there he was, helping make that event a success. At first I was a little surprised because I forgot about that connection, but then I thought I shouldn't be surprised to see Josh here, because he's the kind of young leader that anytime there's something going on that's about celebrating diversity and taking a stand against racism, Josh is going to be there. Toward the end of that day, I had a chance to sit down with Josh, and he was clearly tired. You know how it is running big events, and he had been running around all day, but he still wanted to chat. And he started peppering me with questions about, how did I go about starting SCI? And the reason was he wanted to glean some lessons, because he's got an idea percolating about, he's very passionate after doing the Let Summer program. He's very passionate about getting some of his peers how to have systems to get greater access to mental health services, because that's clearly been a big issue over the last several years. So he is building up and thinking about how he can take that next step as a leader. Lifting up young leaders like Josh, connecting them to opportunities and people that can help them realize their amazing potential is crucial to developing the healthy and inclusive communities that we all desire. So thank you for supporting SCI today and joining us so we can continue to do that work. Thanks.